Hey, you guys, welcome to the Fam Jam team call. It is November 11th and just a hot second for Remembrance Day. So I hope you guys all had a minute to be able to reflect and say thank you for all those in service to our country. And we wanted to talk to you guys tonight about something that might not seem like it goes hand in hand, but we're going to kind of pull it together for you guys. But really talking about how to make new connections and also talking about a 2-star mindset. So we'll get into what that is as we get through the call. But before we do, I want to pass it over for recognition. I am letting somebody in here. For recognition, before we kick it off, I have been doing the Success Club leaderboards every week for the team call. And I've been getting them up and we've been doing recognition that way. And I love them and I think they're fantastic. However, in the process of moving things over to virtually schooling with the kids and the extra things that I have on my plate, I'm really having to evaluate my time and where my time is spent. And that is kind of like a busy work thing for me right now to be doing. And I preach this to you guys all the time. Don't stay in like the creative mode. Don't stay in the busy work. Do the income producing activities first. And there's just a couple of things that I'm doing on my end that aren't really the income producing activities. They're just really like the fun little fancy graphics, which are great. And hopefully one day I can bring those back. But right now, the season that we're in, for me, it really has just been like, okay, let's just really focus on priorities and what are those. And I would rather hop on a 20-minute call with one of you guys than create a fancy graphic for the week. So I'm not going to create the SC boards anymore for right now, for the time being, until I can kind of outsource that to somebody else. So we'll just bring recognition back like we used to, which was incredible anyways. I feel like it's not like we're not going to recognize, but I want to bring it back like we were anyways. And you guys can just shout your coaches out for literally whatever it is that you want. If you can't think of anything or you're a newer coach here, typically we shout people out we welcome them to the team calls. First of all, we shout them out for doing something maybe outside their comfort zone that week, for hitting Success Club already, high PV, anything just kind of like outstanding that you want to shout your peeps out for. So we will do a post on Thursdays that you guys can also shout everybody out for on the team page. It won't be a weekly leaderboard. We'll do a monthly board though. So we'll still have a monthly board. And then we'll still have weekly recognition, but you guys can just like pop in the chat, or if you want to go live on the team page, if you want to put a post in the team page, totally up to you guys. So that's open for you. Anyways, I just wanted to kind of recognize that it was some busy work that I was doing that was taking me away from some of the activities that I should be doing. So we'll come back to that. We'll do that. But before we kick off this call, let's kick it over to you guys. If you want to unmute, if you have recognition, then that would be amazing. Or you can pop it in the chat if you can't talk right now.
Okay, I'm gonna go first. My coach Megan actually hit Emerald. So that is super exciting. I am so excited for her. She has worked her butt off for this. And yeah, so I can't wait to see where this takes her from here.
Congrats, that's amazing. Who else?
I'll go if that's okay. First of all, I'm so happy to be here that I'm off of work finally one Wednesday that I can be here. But I just want to shout out Kara because I know she went Emerald a couple weeks ago and I wasn't on here, and thank you, Danielle, for recognizing her. But now she hit SC this month. She's at SC6 right now, and she has one more month to make Success Starter. So I know she's been working really, really hard and running her own groups and just really taking charge of this thing, and kind of keeps me in check now. So good job, Kara.
I love that. And yeah, Shorty, she totally rocked that flash sale. I saw her in there, like I was getting notifications left, right, and center. It was like, Kara. I was like, whoa, that was amazing. I love it. Who else?
I'll piggyback right after that. Amazing job, Kara. You absolutely did rock the flash sale. And same to you, Cassie. You were in there as well. Big shout out to Cassie for locking in SC8 already, and just taking the initiative. Both Kara and Cassie reached out to me. They're like, hey, what is this flash sale? Let's get on a call. I want to be ready for it. So they totally took initiative, got all ready to go, and they absolutely slayed it. I also want to give a huge shout out to Cassie as well for running that amazing call this past weekend. Blew all of our minds when it came to diastasis recti. I don't know, but it was amazing. So informative. So amazing job. So thank you so much.
Wait, I think I have it. No, shoot, I just lost it. You're in my head, Cassie. How do you say it?
Either you can say diastasis or diastasis.
Diastasis, that's it. Weird, like I butcher it every time.
You'll hear it both ways.
It was an incredible call, and like literally save that link to the YouTube call. I would highly recommend you all save it under your notes section or add it to like a Google Drive somewhere as like tools and resources for your clients, because you can send that to anybody if at any point in time they are asking you about that. I know I have a ton of clients that ask me about it a lot, and I've had really great feedback from that call. So thank you so much for actually hosting that. It was incredible. Who else has recognition?
I'll go. I was trying to let everybody else go first. I'm like, I'm just gonna let everyone else go.
It was kind of weird.
Okay, I'll recognize my SC people first. So Marie said at the beginning of this month that she was going to take back her power. She had kind of fallen off the wagon a little bit. She had a few stressful weeks. And she like committed, and she's hit SC6 already. And she's staying consistent with her workouts. She got her emerald back. So she just set her goals for this month and was like, okay, I'm doing this. And she did it. So I'm really proud of her, and she's not done. Like, she's like, well, no, I'm not done. I have like goals that I want for the end of the month. So she's not stopping. So just wanted to shout her out because that's amazing. I wanted to shout out Emily, who has really taken on a massive leadership role in our chat. And we have like I have my halfway to diamond ladies in a chat right now. And the things that Emily is coming up with in terms of responding, and she shared a podcast in our chat the other day, like all those things that are qualities of a leader in this business. Emily has just sort of taken those on. So Emily, I wanted to recognize you because that's huge from like when you first started and were scared to go live to now, like just massive growth. So we just wanted to recognize you for those leadership qualities. Carmelina did an IGTV yesterday. That's huge. She's been getting some negative feedback from some of her longtime friends. And instead of shutting down, she said, F you all, pardon me, I'm going to show you. And so I'm really proud of her for not retreating and moving forward and actually saying, I'm just going to do this my way. So I'm really proud of that. And then my other SC people on the board already, Sarah, Carrie, Christina, and Emily are all at SC2 already. So that was very long-winded, but I just had lots to say.
That was amazing. I love it. Tell Aunt Sue to go sit down.
Put it in the second bucket.
Sit down.
Aunt Sue can take a back seat.
Trish, you got recognition?
I actually do have recognition. So for those of you who don't know, I lost one of my coaches this week. One of my first coaches, Amy. Crap. Here we go. Anyways, so I have inherited one of her coaches, which is Brittany. And Brittany and I have been working together in her challenge group. And Brittany has completely stepped up as a leader in that group and is totally taking control of all of it. And she's doing a wonderful job. And I know she's not on this call, and she's not on this call because she's like 2 hours ahead of us. So I just wanted to shout out Brittany. I'm super proud of them all. Crap, stupid tears. At least I'm not a robot. I'll give that a win.
I love you. And that's so amazing. And it's hard, you guys, like it's hard when we lose coaches and, you know, they decide maybe this isn't for them or life takes a turn and things happen, right? Things totally happen. And it just goes to show that it's more than just rank and numbers, and like we're humans and we're like making connections, and it's challenging for sure. And we've had some tough conversations, even the three of us kind of working through, you know, a decision to be made, right? So it's hard. And Trish, I love you. That's amazing. Britt's amazing. I know she's gonna catch the recording of this tomorrow. She always does. So I'm super proud of the way that you guys are showing up and helping clients that now are yours that you don't know, and fostering a relationship and helping them to continue on their journey. So that's big. It's big. I love that. Anyone else with recognition?
I have some recognition. It's Carm here. I can't show myself because I'm driving to pick up my kids, but I just wanted to give a massive shout out to my coach, Tara, who has like amazing leadership skills, and she's really helping a lot of us in our business who are pushing for some massive goals. And I don't know how she makes time for each and every one of us, but she has really helped me these last couple of weeks, especially through some personal things. And she does a really good job managing these 3 important roles that she has in my life as not only coach and mentor, but friend and business partner. And she plays each role so perfectly at the right moment and gives me exactly what I need to push forward in this business during hard times in life. So I just wanted to say thank you, thank you, thank you.
I love that. That's so sweet. And it's so true. I'll tag on to that because I know somebody else might have some recognition, which is cool, but I want to tag on to that with Shorty, and a massive recognition. This is going to be posted on Friday. But Shorty is officially number 30 in Canada with her team Fit Life, and number 258 in the network. Massive growth and a huge achievement at this point in the year. So we're just so proud of you guys. And I thought, what better timing? I feel like that was the time for recognition there. Fit Life, you guys have been through some really hard times this year. One of the most difficult years for a lot of you on the team. And I think it just goes to show how you guys really leaned in and you were helping support each other to rise above. And we're just really proud of you guys. I'm not going to say anything else about that because I'll just start crying. So, anybody else with recognition? I feel like Kaylee unmuted.
I did.
Oh, what's up, girl?
I want to shout out first Rachel. She completed 30-day breakaway and then did an IGTV that like put me to my knees. I was like, I wish I could talk like you. You're just so amazing the way she expressed herself. And she's locked in SC2, so she's on her way this month. Also, Nicole Callahan is at SC2. They rocked the flash sale. They were in there, and they're still following up with these people. Nicole had a good month last month too. Like her diamond is so like her legs are full, and she's got extras. Like she's killing it. And Lynn's Greg has like the craziest PV on my team, and it's all the time. So this week she's 547, and I just think that's fantastic. She rocks PV all the time. It's like that. Super proud of my whole team. Love the Meltdown Moms. And just a big shout out to Shailene, because she's always in my back pocket when I need a moment. You're in my head, girl.
I got you. I love that. You guys are doing amazing. So proud of the Meltdown Moms as well. Okay, so I will also shout out Danielle for the incredible Crush Nation call. Your first Crush call. That was so good. I cannot even tell you the number of messages and comments that I had after that call of just saying,
and the
like,
next day I got messages all day the next day.
Yeah, everyone was like waiting for the recording. They're like, what's her IG handle? I have to tag her. Like, who is this girl? She's incredible.
Who is this girl? And I said, she said no to me. Talk to Shailene.
It was so good. And I want to recognize you for the growth that you've had. I remember listening to some of your first lives, and like, props to Danielle, you guys. She was going live in the team page and she could barely hold, like, without a shake in her voice. Like, you could tell she was so nervous on lives, but she did it anyways. And like, I've just seen so much growth in your presentation skills. It was so professionally done. You totally prepared for that. And I just think that it was like off the charts. So massive shout out to you, because that is so big and I'm so proud of you.
And I don't know if you had a chance to read any of the comments or go through it, but like,
she saved them all.
Everyone was telling Jamie to get on the horn with Carl Deichler to get you on the national wake up call. Like, You slayed it. Absolutely killed it.
Yeah, it was so good. She's like, do not say those words. National Wake Up Call. No.
Yeah.
Huge shout out to Becca for hitting SC8 already, which I know is even more already. Shorty sitting at SC14. There are other people who are on the board. Jer is at SC16 right now. And it's just like, it's pretty incredible coming off of a really, really slow month.
Yeah.
So it feels pretty good. And we can feel the energy coming from you guys. So massive shout out to you guys. I think we could do, look at us. We're back to 20 minutes of recognition again. This is great. I love it.
We can say that you're at SC10 as well.
I am at SC10 as well.
Yeah.
Yes, that's your job.
I
You
know.
have to shout me out.
I just did.
Thanks, babe. Love you. Okay, anybody else? Are we good? I don't want to miss anybody. I think we're good. Okay. Okay, so let's get into things. Let's talk about our connections with people. And I get this a lot. This was a conversation that kind of came up 2 or 3 times this week, just in conversations that I was having with people. And oftentimes the question or the comment that I get with coaches is I don't know where to find new people. Like, how do I make new friends online is really kind of getting down to the nitty gritty of what it is. It's like, where do I go? We're not used to that piece, right? Like oftentimes our social media is just people we already know. It's our friends, it's our family, it's people we went to high school with. It's, it's our coworkers. It could be acquaintances from forever and a day ago. Oftentimes it really is, it's what we call our warm market. But we have to grow that warm market in order for us to be reaching pretty big goals in our business. And I don't think that we have to grow our warm market to have 10,000 followers to be successful. I really don't think we do. Is that a cool goal to have on social media? Sure. But does it serve your business? And most times it's not going to. You can build a really beautiful business with a really small following. However, we do have to continue making new connections because you will be surprised at the growth you have personally in this business from day 1 to day 365, to day 700, to day 1000. The growth that you have, you actually start to outgrow the circle that you're in. And as you outgrow your own circle, you need to be making connections with people who are going to meet you where you're at in your life. And so outside of like the number game, sure, you are probably going online and going, well, the top coaches have 50,000 followers. They have 75,000 followers. They have 25,000 followers. I must need 25,000 followers in order to be successful. And sometimes those are the dots that we're connecting, and they're the wrong dots to be connecting. That does not equal success. That just equals showing up every single day with value and people sharing your stuff and getting followers.
And
that also could equal money paying for followers.
yeah,
Let's be honest.
I was just going to say that could also be that they've paid a third party to
build
get
their
followers
account
for them, which means those followers may not necessarily be their brand. So are they really valuable followers if they're not someone that you would really have in your team anyways? So I mean, like, it's just a number. It's really just a number.
Oh my gosh, Shorty, stop it. Okay, yeah. See, this is the thing. And I think we get caught up in following a lot of people and seeing these big numbers and thinking, how do I make connections? Because I can't make those type of connections. Like, how do I even get to that number? Thinking that number of followers equals connections. It literally is not. It's not at all. And I want to really just kind of get rid of that whole myth, because connections is the conversations that you're having with human beings, and we need to make new connections. So I'm going to share with you guys where you can find new connections, but I really want you to take this piece and know that this doesn't have to be 1,000 new friends. We don't have to go with big numbers here. We just have to go with small numbers. 2 or 3 new connections every day is super powerful at the end of the year, at the end of the month, at the end of the week. That stuff is really, really powerful if you take 15 minutes to connect with 3 people, right? Like 5 minutes to go through and find one person to send them a cool message to be like, hey, I love your vibe. You know, that is going to be very powerful, and it's going to make a really powerful shift in your business when you start knowing the people who are following you instead of just randomly following everybody and not getting to know them. There is a difference when you add a bunch of followers, because I will do this on my account. I add a bunch of followers, but I unfollow them if they don't follow me back. So I'm not just following. I used to all the time when I first started as a coach. That was kind of what we were taught.
Yep.
And we did that in the beginning. And now if they don't follow me back, I unfollow them. And the ones who do follow me back, I go in and I go, okay, are you really my jam? Because a lot of people especially on Instagram and a lot on Facebook too, if you're adding friends, you can't see everything, right? You can see their profile picture, you can see their bio, and then you have no idea who this person really is. So you are like blindly guessing by a profile picture if you're going to connect with this person.
Which can turn out wildly bad.
Very bad. It
Trust
can
me.
go south really quickly.
Yeah.
And so when someone follows me back, I make it so as soon as you go into your notifications, especially in Instagram, or it'll say on Facebook in the notifications, so-and-so accepted your friend request. It'll say so-and-so started following you. You can immediately go into their account and browse through, like take a peek to be like, is this person really my jam? And if they are, start building the connection.
Send them a message right away.
Talk to them. Hey, thanks for the follow. This is so cool. I love that you have 3 kids. I have 3 kids too. What are their ages? Like find the common ground, right? And you can build that connection, and that connective tissue with everybody is really what starts to build trust. And that is really important. So on the business activity tracker, when it says add connections and new followers, it's more than just adding those followers and getting that number really high. It really is about going a little bit deeper and making the connection and going, is this person really someone I want to continue following to build a relationship with? They can continue to follow you, and who knows? I mean, maybe that might evolve into something, but I think it's really important just to not think that you have to vibe with everyone, right? Like you don't have to. Just because they follow you doesn't mean that you have to love their vibe. You are like fully able to be like, no, not my jam, moving along. Trish asked a question of like how you keep track of that. So I just go through who I'm following. And if they're not following me back, so I can go into their followers, and your name will come up at the very top
yeah.
if they're following you. Or you can type your name in the search bar. If you go to their followers, you can type your name, and if your name doesn't come up, they're not following you back. And so if I'm following somebody and they're not following me back, bye. Like why? You can only follow 7,500 people on Instagram, and you can only have 5,000 friends on Facebook. So if those people aren't following you back, they're not seeing any of your content.
Yeah.
They're not like, if you've tried interacting with them a couple of times and they're like not interested,
Or not even seeing your message.
unfollow.
Yeah.
And move along. Go find a new connection. Even if you think they'd be an incredible connection, if they're not reciprocating the relationship, then move along. Unfollow them and go to somebody different. And that one for me was something that I didn't really understand in the
And
beginning.
if I have a great vibe on somebody and they're ghosting me in the beginning, I'll give them a little bit if I feel like there's a ton of potential there. But at some point, you got to move on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So really understanding that number of followers doesn't necessarily make you a successful coach. I think you can really just build connection with people. So where do you find people? Let's talk about that. The next question I always get is like, how do you find people on Instagram? Like, how do you find these people to follow? For me, there's a couple of different ways. I'm going to say, I think almost every challenge pack this month has been through Facebook, not Instagram. And so I want you first to take
some on Facebook and Instagram.
To take an evaluation of where you're seeing the most success in your business. Are you seeing more success on Facebook, or are you seeing more success on Instagram? And if you have time to run both platforms, amazing. Putting a post up on one platform, you can put the same post up on both. Having a story go up onto one, sharing the story to the other, like it goes on both. But if you're limited in time, I want you to make sure that you're spending your time on the platform that is giving you the best return. Where's your return on investment? That ROI is really important if you're short on time. When you have more time to invest in your business, then you can really start looking at building it out with different platforms. Maybe it's TikTok, maybe it's Snapchat. I mean, it doesn't matter what social media platform you're really using, but where are your people coming from right now? Take a really good look at that. For me, it's Facebook, and I'm really active in a couple of Facebook groups. So Facebook groups for me is somewhere that I pull a lot of friends from. It's where I have a lot of connections made, and I have common ground instantly because we're in the same group together. So whatever group I'm a part of on Facebook, I know I'm likely connected to that person somehow through an interest or a hobby or a desire or a dream or a business model or something, right? I'm connected to them somehow through a Facebook group. I really recommend getting away from like the auction sites or the mom buy and sell or the like those garage sale sites. Sure, they can be great, but for me, the sites have really been like the mom talks, the ones where it's just moms that want a place to be able to talk about what's going on in their lives. Those have been really powerful. And most times there's a city that has a mom group for that city. So search it. If you the city that you're living in and the surrounding area, you should search that city and see what groups come up and then add yourself into all of them. Get the vibe for the group and then start adding friends inside the group. I offer my freebies inside of mom groups in Facebook. So I offer the free crockpot, 5 crockpot recipes that we had. I offered that. I offered my top knot and squats group inside of other Facebook groups, because when I'm offering something free, they don't kick you out. They're like, yeah, sure, that's great. You want to offer something free, that's fine. If you're trying to sell and posting links in other groups, that's usually when you get blocked, usually when it gets like reported or it's spammy, something comes across and then they take your post down. But for me, when I'm offering that free value, and again, leading with free value, leading with an offer, it helps me to see who's interested in the thing that I have to offer. So having your freemium, whatever that is, a free group, a free 7-day, if you're doing like a free 7-day workout group or clean week or something like that, start offering some of that into the Facebook groups and use your city, your local area to find connection. Start there. Then you can branch off. If you want to go into other groups based on your hobbies and your interests, you can really branch off from there. Another group that I pull a lot from is actually the CMA Fest group. So we go down to Nashville every year. And when we go down, there's a group for the Country Music Festival when we go down. And the Facebook group is full of like thousands of people. Well, we all love country music. We all travel down there every single year. And it's people from all over the world. So it's a little bit harder because I have to like make sure that they're from US, Canada, or UK. But for me, that's a really great spot for me to be able to connect with people because we have so much to talk about. Have you been to Nashville? Have you not been to Nashville? What are your favorite bars? What are your favorite restaurants? Who's your favorite artist? Like, how many times have you been? Instantly, I have so much to talk about with that person. So pull from things that you're interested in. So on Facebook, that's what I use. I also go through my friends lists. I will caution, when I started, my Facebook group was full of like my high school friends. And I basically was just adding everyone from high school because I was going through their friends list and it ended up being a ton of other people from high school that I didn't want to talk to anymore. Stop doing that. Stop just adding people to add them because you went to high school with them before. Like, don't feel like you just have to add people to add people. This is my whole thing with like the numbers game, right? If you're like, no, I really don't want to go back into that era of my life. If that wasn't an enjoyable experience for you and you don't want to bring it all up, don't. Move on to a different friend. Find a different friend and start adding friends of other friends. The other thing that comes along with that is the next thing that I get from a lot of coaches is like, well, what if I get like a weird message and they're like, who are you? I tell the truth. Hey, you actually are a friend of so-and-so and I saw that you were a friend of them. Normally I go through like likes and comments on people's posts. And I'm like, yeah, I saw you commented on their post the other day. I just wanted to reach out. I thought you were cool beans. And so I reached out. And if they like me, then great. And if they don't, then they're like, oh, sorry, I don't open up my Facebook to anybody else. I'm like, cool, not a problem. That's fine. 9 times out of 10 though, I don't even get a response from anybody, and they just add you as a friend, because I like it when people add me as a friend. I don't know, it feels good, right? You're like, oh, cool, who's this?
Yeah, they look normal, except
Totally. We all know the ones that don't look normal. We're like decline, 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 decline. So that is one thing for me. Facebook is a really big thing. Facebook groups is really big. And then friends of friends. Over on Instagram, you can do the same thing where you're adding your connections through friends, followers of followers. You can go through their follower list and you can add through followers. That's really great because you already have a connection with a person. If you're not comfortable doing that, or you don't want to do that, then go through hashtags, go through locations, search on the main page. I cannot think of Discover page, search on there something you're interested in. Or if you're a dance mom, or if you're a football mom. I have a couple of football mom hashtags that I follow because Kipton plays football. I have hashtags that I follow based off of interest for, like, I'm really into like crystals and stuff right now. Like, I love learning about them and what they are and the power that they have behind them. So I started following some hashtags for it because I'm like, I want to follow other people who have that same interest. So just start following some of those hashtags, and you can go in to see the accounts that are posting using that hashtag. So anytime you search a hashtag, what you're actually looking for is accounts that are using that hashtag. They could be personal accounts. A lot of the time it's business accounts that are using those hashtags. I know for me, when I wasn't using social media for a business, my hashtags were like, they had to do with something I said in the post, or it was like a funny quote my kid said. Like, no one would ever search that hashtag. It was just something that I found funny based off of the story I was telling that day. And so I'm not necessarily using hashtags to find the person right away using that hashtag. I'm searching it to find an account that is very active, that has people commenting on their posts. Because now I'm going to go into the comments of the post to see what people are saying. And if they love the same thing I love, I'm going to connect with them. I sent a reel over to Katie tonight, actually. It was a nurse's reel. And I sent it over to her because it was like, what type of nurse are you? And initially I was just like, I thought it was funny. So I tagged her and I'm like, what nurse are you? And she commented. And then all of a sudden light bulbs went off and I was like, wait, this is your target market. Like, this is literally the account. And there was like hundreds of comments on this reel of people saying what type of nurse they were. And I was like, oh my God, you're the smiley nurse. Go connect with every person that commented on that post that said they were the smiley nurse. Like, go connect with those people because those are your people. And it's things like that where you're like, oh, and the light bulb kind of goes off and you're like, right, those are the people that I can connect with instantly. And if you're going to go follow them, that feels good because genuinely you feel like you're connected with that person. Randomly connecting with people online, it doesn't always feel good. That's kind of when we feel salesy. That's when we feel a bit pushy. That's when it feels inauthentic and you have no idea what to talk about. If you find someone who you have that connective tissue with, you can talk about things for days because you know, I mean, how many conversations could you have about nursing even, Katie? Like, you know, instantly you're like, oh, we could be here for a long
Stories.
time, right?
Yeah.
Like, you almost might have to like cut that conversation off to be like, okay, we got to like transition this to an invite at some point here. But those are the types of things where it's like, find your people, and it doesn't have to be just one niche market. I know we talk about like branding yourself into one market, but you're an eclectic person. You have more than one hobby, you have more than one interest, you are more than one individual, you are a very interesting person, and I really want you to navigate all aspects of that. You don't have to pigeonhole yourself just into one area. So use the hashtags. But the other thing that I really love too on Instagram is using the locations. Locations for me are really key. I have made a ton of connections through locations. If you're going somewhere say your parents live in a different city and you're going to that city to see them, search that location, search that city, the city you grew up in, the city you live in now, the surrounding area that you live in now. If you take your kids to a cool museum, what's the museum? If there was farms you used to go to with the kids, search the farms. If there was like dance places you used to go to, or gyms you used to go to, or restaurants you love, cafes that you really love, nurseries, parks, like search every hotspot in your city. Start there. I know you will find people if you just start within the city that you live. So don't overcomplicate it where you're like, I have to search the entire country of the United States and every single city because Shalene told me to look up locations and I want to broaden my market and I'm going to search all these different random cities. But that's not helping you because that's not building connective tissue. Now you're just randomly searching things to add followers. You have to search locations of places that you want to go, places that you've been, or places that you know other people have been and maybe have referred them and said like, oh my God, you have to go check this out. Those are the things that you have to be searching for, locations. And those are the ones where you're really going to start to find a lot of people that you can really connect with. So those are like my biggest tips in terms of making new connections and adding people that you actually want to have a conversation with, instead of just adding a bunch of random people. And at the end of the day, you're looking through your entire who you're following and you're like, I don't like any of them. Like, I really have nothing in common with any of these people. They're just there because I wanted the number bigger. That doesn't always feel good. It happens. It's happened to me. But it doesn't mean that you can't change that. You can still make really great connections with people at any point in time.
And connections take time sometimes.
They
Like
do. Totally
90% of 90% of the connections you make aren't going to yield a sale right away. We all know, I mean, I've been talking to people for a year and they're finally buying a challenge pack. But once you build that connection and you build that relationship between one another, you find things in common that you can talk about all the time. And all they're doing is they may have been watching you for a while, but they're waiting for that time where that trust is really there and they actually need it and want it. Because it's not something where you're going to send somebody one connection or reach out and say, hey, I loved your post, or hey, I've got 3 kids too, and they're going to buy a challenge pack right away. That's not how it works. That's not a connection. Connection is building that relationship more than once. You got to deposit into the bank account.
Yeah. And like, know that you can build a connection in 2 hours and you can build a
100%.
connection in 2 months. You know, like some people are just different and some people have a wall up on social media and they're like, who are you? I don't want to talk to you. This is weird. And other people are just like, yeah, let's go. I need to make friends. I am at home. I'm a mom. I am lonely and I need someone to talk to. Please, someone listen to me. So it totally depends. Kara, thank you for the suggestion on your soul warrior. That's amazing. And this is the thing, like, let's start helping each other out. Like if we see accounts and you're like, not my jam, but that would totally be Patricia's jam, send it to her. Just share the profile, like share it within your team, share with your coaches, help them out. If we're searching things, I guarantee you're going to come across something and you're going to be like, not really my jam, but I picture who this account would be really great for. Like this account would be amazing for Kaylee. I'm going to send it over to her. Share it with your team because it's only going to help build your team, right? It's only going to help them in the process of not spending hours trying to find accounts where their people are. If you come across it, share it. Something else that I love doing.
I just wanted to clarify something too. Like just when we're talking about connections and like, I'm not waiting months to invite this person to a challenge pack after I've connected with somebody. If it doesn't happen within a couple hours of our conversation, if our conversation didn't lead somewhere where I feel like it would be a smooth transition, I'm going to invite them the next day. And it's literally going to be a message saying, hey man, just, you know, it was great connecting with you yesterday. My wife and I are running these online virtual gyms. Thought maybe you might be interested. Can I send you some details? I'll send it the next day knowing like, hey, you know what? It was great connecting with you. And it's now another day. And I thought I might reach out to you. I find that's an easier transition than conversation talking about families. And then you're like, hey, do you want to do a workout? That's weird.
Yeah. I found that too. And we get stuck in the, like, how do I transition this conversation to an invite? That's a big thing, right? And that can be hard.
And that's just what I do. If it naturally doesn't go there in the conversation, I will do it the next day and just say, hey man, great connecting with you. Thought I would reach out. And that's
Yeah.
how I kind of follow up with it.
And I think the other thing too is like release the pressure that every conversation has to be an invite. Not every conversation has to be an invite. You can connect with really cool people online that don't have to be a part of your challenge groups. I mean, I'm going to offer it to everybody at some point in
Danielle,
time.
where is she? She's in here
What?
laughing. Oh, there she is.
I think like don't force anything that doesn't feel natural.
Yeah.
For sure. Get outside your comfort zone, and you have to invite people at some point in time. You can't just make a bunch of connections and then never invite people. That's not going to move your business forward at all. But I really think that like just when you're connecting, just connect. Don't connect with the intent to invite. Just connect and see where it goes. I promise you, it'll feel so good. Like it'll feel so good. Okay, lastly, on the connection piece is on Instagram. When I was talking about like searching the hashtags and you find like a really cool account, the accounts I use more than friends of friends. And what I mean by that is like going into followers of followers to connect with them. I do that, but I actually more so go into target accounts, is what I call them. And I go into those accounts and I see who's active on social media. Because following followers is cool because you have a mutual friend and a mutual connection, but you don't know how active they actually are on Instagram or even on Facebook for that matter. They could not have even opened their app for a year and a half. I have no idea, but they still have an account, right? So what I like to do is I use this example all the time. I use Cat and Nat. They're a big target market for me. They are moms, they're hilarious, they're local, they're in Toronto. I know that they have followers from all over the place, but their account is one that I will go into their last 9 posts and I will see who has liked and commented on that post. I like starting with the comments first because I find people who take the time to comment are looking for connection. Or that post really resonated with them. So if that post resonated with me, then I'm going to go through because I'm going to be like, you know what? We're kind of on the same wavelength here. And I'll go through the comments of that post and I will look at their profile picture and their name. And I will be like, do they look like somebody I want to be friends with? Cool. Go add them as a follower. If they don't, then I just continue on. But I'll reply to comments that are right on that post. I make sure I comment on that post and then I go through the people who are commenting. And those are the people, because I know they're active on Instagram and they're active on social media. So those are kind of my tips in terms of connecting and where I connect. Now, Danielle has been popping in the chat all of these things that are leading to the next thing I want to say. So I've totally been ignoring you, Danielle. So I love what you said about the referrals. Referrals are literally life. And I think that that is one of the easiest connections that you can make is through a referral. And don't be afraid to ask for them. Like, don't be afraid to ask for the referral. I asked a couple of my clients to invite people to the flash sale. I had 2 people sign up with a challenge pack that I had never spoken to before because my clients invited them to a flash sale. And that is massive because they trust my client. They trust them immediately. So they don't have to trust me. They just have to trust my client. So you really speed up this process of building that connection when you have referrals. So ask for the referrals. And like at the end of the day, be open and honest about what you're doing. Like, I don't think any of my clients have a problem with the fact that I do this full time and make a living for my family. None of my clients have a problem with that. They all want to support me 100%. Sure, Shalene, how can I support you? Oh, you have collagen? I didn't know you had collagen. I've been buying my collagen from Costco. Yeah, absolutely. I'll buy it from you. Have those conversations. Be open and honest about the fact that what you're doing for your family. Thank you guys so much. Thank your clients. Go into your challenge groups. Send them emails. Thank you guys so much. I don't know if you know this, but you helped me pay for camp for my kids this summer. And I just want to say thank you to you guys because that helped me. You helped put food on my table this month. I appreciate you. Thank you. That's the stuff that like, I know it feels backwards almost, and it feels like, oh, I don't like people knowing that I make money off of their sales. But people really like supporting who they know, and people love supporting you, especially when they know what it's going for, right? So referrals are literally incredible. And then when you get the referral, that's when you make the connection. That's when you start building that relationship. So when you have the referral, your job isn't done.
And who knows what that connection will turn
Continue
into.
making that. Yeah. Continue making that connection. Okay. Continue building that relationship. Your relationship has only just begun the second that they said yes and they jumped in. They don't know you yet. So they have to get to know you. So allow them that opportunity to get to know you. And Patricia, Costco collagen sucks. So the other thing with that, and Danielle hit it again in the chat, was, and I've heard this from Kim a gazillion and one times. I've heard it from other top leaders in the company, and it's, you only want to partner with the people you want to vacation with.
Mhm.
Who would you love to be sitting on a beach with right now? Who are those people for you? Those are the people that you're searching for, and those are the people you're connecting with. Now, in saying that, you don't know that off the top of your head. Like, when you make an initial connection, you don't know that. You don't know what that's going to be. But build that. Allow the opportunity for you to get to know somebody so that you can make that decision, right? How many walls do we have up? When we make a connection with somebody else, how many walls do you have up that you aren't like pulling back the layers of the onion to allow them to see who you truly are? Because when you allow them to see who you truly are, you help them to be able to open up, and then you really make a connection. Or you don't. Or you decide, no, not really my jam, and you kind of move along, right? But I really think that it's important to understand that, because we want to take all these connections that we're making and the connections that we're building, and we want to invite people to come join us on this journey. And we want to build our team more than just discount coaches to diamond. Okay. Discount coaches and building to diamond is great because it gets you to diamond quick. That's not building a viable business long-term.
Yeah.
Getting to diamond is amazing. We don't stop there. And we have the mentality that we stop there. And we want to push this envelope of finding connections with human beings that you want to travel with to build your team to 2-star and beyond.
Yeah.
2-star diamond is really what you should have your eye on, if you don't already, for next year.
This is a topic that was brought up at leadership, and it completely blew my mind because I never thought of it this way. But they talked about the 2-star mindset in a sense that if you're 2-star and above, your business is growing, your team is growing, you're creating star diamonds. And the benefit of star diamonds is they're more likely to stay in this business long-term than someone who goes diamond and doesn't do anything with it. So if you're constantly growing and you're constantly trying to push your team to grow, you have that 2-star mindset. When you get to 2-star, you get to clone yourself. You get to take your account and clone yourself and open up another business center. And then the goal is to get that one to 2-star, and then open another business center and get that one to 2-star. And the 2-star mindset is something where you are not only capitalizing on volume, you're capitalizing on growth, you're capitalizing on growing your team diamonds and star diamonds, but you're also capitalizing on the star diamond bonuses, which is going to max out your compensation plan. And this was like mind blowing for me because it's not a way that we thought to grow our business. We thought to say, okay, we're going to grow this account really massive, and we're going to grow this account massive. And then our second and third business centers, when we have time, when we're ready, we'll start to grow them. Which we're now in the path of changing that because of this training that we had at leadership. And it's like, you want to get those accounts to 2-star as quick as you can and build as many 2-stars as you possibly can.
Yeah.
And that's including like not just 2-stars for yourself, like 2-stars on your team.
Yeah.
You want to build everybody you have on your team to 2-star.
Yeah. Because I think what happens is a lot of the time, we talk about Emerald. Emerald's the first step, get to Emerald, right? But you going Emerald, you're likely helping your coach go halfway to diamond, if not diamond. Like that's the process. You're helping someone in your upline achieve a new rank and you're helping them get there. Then when you hit emerald, it's like, okay, let's go diamond. And that's the next rank. And then when you hit diamond, then we have the conversation of what's next. But I think that we're missing a really great piece on being able to connect with people while you're building to diamond to build your 2-star team. And building your 2-star team is what's going to build a really beautiful foundation for a business that will last long term, instead of a foundation of a business that is built on discount coaches and you get to diamond and the next week you're making $150 and you're like, wait, I thought that rank equaled money, and it doesn't. It can, but it doesn't necessarily. And sometimes when we're just building it off of discount coaches, we're not finding the connection with our current clients. We're not finding the connection with the people who are following us. We're not trying to make new friends online, and we're missing out on a really vital behavior that has to happen in order for you to find your 2-star team. Because you don't have your 2-star team yet. Anyone who's not 2-star yet, you don't have your 2-star team yet. Your 2 stars are out there waiting for you to go get them. And that is a really key piece for, I think, anyone who really wants this long term.
Yeah.
Is really, really like honing that mindset.
And something I wish I maybe knew as an emerald coach, or even towards a diamond coach, was the star diamond bonuses. Like,
yes,
to be a 2-star, that's an extra $4,000 a year. If you're 5-star, that's an extra $10,000 a year. Which is insane for me. And if you're constantly building that on your team, you're creating leaders. So you're going to be leaders building leaders, which is going to grow volume on your team, which is going to turn into income on top of the $4,000 extra. I mean, I'm a little bit different. I'm money driven as a guy. Like that's what I find interesting with the business, is the compensation plan, and how you can max out on it is it blows my mind. If you don't know this compensation plan, I strongly encourage you to go into the back office and check it out, because it is mind blowing. I have looked into multiple network marketing companies and I've never seen one like this.
I've been a part of multiple network marketing companies.
If you don't know the compensation plan, you need to. It is crucial, because it's only going to help you grow, and it's only going to help you help your coaches grow.
Yeah. I mean, for us, like, my goal is to see you guys earning like 6 figures. Like, I have a goal to be helping you guys be earning that type of money and be earning that type of income. But in order for that to happen, we have to teach the mindset of what that looks like to make that happen. And it definitely is beyond diamond. None of us are going to be earning 6 figures. None of us are going to be quitting corporate jobs. None of us are going to be going on that like amazing trip to Bali as diamond coaches, right? So I know you have big dreams. I know that you have a vision, and I know that that vision doesn't align with diamond. Do we need to be diamond to get there? Yeah. Is it going to take time to get there? Yeah. But we need to have the stepping stones, the foundation built in our business of emerald and then diamond, and then building diamonds on your team so that you can go into a star diamond rank and start building your team out that way. But that mindset is definitely one that I want you guys to achieve. Like, I want you to go big. Don't play small moving into 2021, wanting to be a diamond coach by December 31st, 2021. Like, I really hope, and I don't ever want to like force a goal upon anyone. However, I want to stretch the limits. And if you guys, wherever you're sitting right now, every single person that I see on this call, if you want something long lasting out of the business, 2-star diamond should be your goal minimum next year. Minimum, especially sitting in November right now. And so I hope that when you sit down and you goal set for 2021 for the year, that that's something you strongly consider, even if it makes you a little bit nauseous, because I know it did me.
And I'm not huge on ranks, and neither of us are. That's not our thing. But we were at a diamond retreat last year. Was it last year? Yeah, last year. And we had this masterminding session on dreams. And one of my goals was not all the other coaches were going around the room and they're like 10 star, 15 star, I want to be 5-star, I want to be this. And one of my goals was I want 3 of my coaches to outgrow me. And I'm going to continue to grow. I'm not stopping. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to continue to grow as big as I can. But my goal is I want 3 coaches to outgrow me. I want 3 coaches to just blow me out of the water. Because I know that if we do that, 1, selfishly, it's going to be income for us as well. But 2, we're creating leaders, and that I know where I'm going with this business. And if 3 people can go above that, I know the lives that are going to change because of that. It's massive, guys. It's huge.
Yeah. And the impact that it has in putting yourself outside of your comfort zone, the impact that it has and the trickle effect that it has on your team to be able to help them dream big and to be able to help them go for big things. There's nothing like more satisfying to me when I hear Kaylee doesn't have to do daycare anymore because she gets to do this instead. There's nothing more satisfying to me to hear this helped me pay for groceries this week. We didn't have to, like, we actually got to eat what we wanted to eat and we didn't have to go on the super strict budget this week. I got to replace my really crappy car. We got to save $2,000 for our vacation fund whenever that happens.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff is like,
When you don't have to
it's
quarantine
so,
for a month.
I'll do it though. I will do it. It's like that kind of stuff. Shorty being able to move closer to the water because this business helped her get closer to the water with her trailer. And the fact that we're like 5 doors from each other. So that's kind of cool too.
Well, I'm sure it was the water though.
It was totally the water. It was me. No, it's like, it's things like that. It's seeing that kind of stuff that I'm just like, yes, like that. This is what I'm here for. And sometimes we like overthink how this is all going to work. But I promise you, when you think of 2-star diamond, and that might make you totally nauseous, that might make you go like, I cannot do that. I know there's a lot of you on this call right now who are completely doubting your abilities to be able to achieve that next year. But if you set your eye on that, watch your life change over the next year. Watch it change. It's going to be massive. Whereas if you just play small and you're like, I just want diamond, that's all I want, you're not going to see the growth and the change that you want to have in your business. If you set the bar high, you're going to push the limits. You're going to push your comfort zone to get there as close as you can. Jared and I have yet to set a goal that we've achieved in this business.
No.
But we keep setting it higher and higher.
Yeah.
Because we keep getting a little bit closer. And then as soon as we get closer to it, we're like, oh, got to go bigger. Because if I'm going for the same thing, I'm going to stay small.
And if we ever hop on a call with you and your goal is diamond in a year, I'm calling you out on that shit. I am calling you out hard.
You guys are fully capable. 10-star vision board. Yes, I love it. Okay, Shorty, you said something. I want to go back to this and then we'll open up for questions. We are running like right at 9. We're very passionate about this right now. But you said that you worry you have followers of when going through followers of followers and making a connection that you're taking all their potential people. So this is very good because other people were like, yes, this is true. I've totally thought of that as well. What makes you think that that person's going to sign up and be a coach? Yes, I would love that. But if I think of the number of followers that I have, the number of friends that I have, and the number of coaches I have on this team, the odds that that person is going to be a coach are really thin. And I want to be able to help as many people as possible. And I'm not going to wait for that person to be ready before I go and I help other people who are ready. So my mindset is always, well, then that means the person who connected us, say Rachel's friend, and please do not go through coaches' followers. That is like a big no-no. Any coach in this company, do not go through their followers. I really should have said that earlier. But for this example, I go through Rachel's followers. I make a connection with Cassie. Cassie becomes a coach on my team. Cool. Cassie can now reach out to Rachel and be like, dude, I'm a coach on this team. Do you want to come join me? Now you just helped Cassie get a coach through Rachel because now Rachel knows 2 people on the same team together. So flip it even, flip it to a way where it empowers you to go, no, I totally can help more people. And just because my connection was like Rachel first and then Cassie, it doesn't mean that that's how they have to go in my genealogy. Like, it doesn't have to go Rachel, then Cassie, because that's how I got connected. It can go Cassie, then Rachel. It can go Cassie, then Kara, then Danielle, then Carm, then Ashley, then Rachel. You know, like it can go in different ways. So I really think it's shifting out of more of that scarcity mindset of like, I don't want to take their people away, which is really just because you care about them and you're like, well, what if they do one day? Like, I don't want to make it like this weird thing. So I get it. I totally get it. But I think if you can flip the mindset from I'm taking their people away instead of like, oh, how many of their friends can I help? Maybe she's not ready yet. Maybe she's not in a place where she can actually make this happen for her. Or maybe it's never going to happen for her. I don't know what that is, but I know she's got friends that really could use my help because we're kick-ass coaches and everyone should
and
be in our
normally
job
my
shows.
target market or my target account that I'm using to follow people from may not even be may not even be an option if that's I don't want to say it's not an option because there's always a chance, but like they're normally like too big for me to even really kind of go after. I don't know if that's
I
don't
tuned
know.
out. I was reading comments. I
Yeah.
apologize. Typical wife comment, right?
Anyways.
I'm sure it made complete sense.
No, that's why I was
Someone
looking
help
to
someone
you,
help him out
but
because I totally blanked.
Yeah,
I
it's the
just
story of my life. And then I get shit for not listening.
or paying attention to me.
Yeah.
Made total sense. See? Danielle's got my
See?
back. It's good.
She's shaking her head now. See, she's
She's just laughing at me. It's not
Yeah.
you. She's laughing at me. I think that this is definitely something that goes outside of a lot of our comfort zones is like adding connections and making new friends. And a lot of it will come down to imposter syndrome and thinking, who am I? And am I good enough? And why would they want to join me? And why does it matter? And I really think that that's something that we can all work towards. And personal development, if that's something you're struggling with, find a book that will help you on that specific topic, because that's how you get past it. And that's how you move to the next level. Angie Lee is also someone who's really, really great to follow if you're dealing with imposter syndrome or perfectionism. She's someone who just like every single day she touches on it and I'm like, shoot, calling me out again. Yes. Okay, fine. So if you deal with those things, she's someone who's really good and she's just like super bold and to the point. Will totally call you out on it. Kara, that's amazing. Made a random connection last Wednesday and she was the first flash sale customer. Yes, that's amazing.
beautiful.
I remember so many of you who've told me your first connection when it became a challenge pack. And it was like the coolest moment for so many of you. So I love that. Does anybody have any questions? Because we're right at 9 o'clock. So I don't want to hold you guys up too much more because we could just sit and chat all night. But does anyone have questions on like anything we talked about tonight or anything random?
I don't have a question, but I just have a follow-up. Remember the other day when we were sitting on our power hour and we were discussing the difference between our Instagram followers and our Facebook followers and just how to be sure to, you're probably going to want to elaborate on that because you said, make sure you mention this on the team call. So here I am. So yeah, you should probably carry on.
No, you say it.
Crap. Okay, so basically what I have come to the conclusion is like, I generally tend to, sorry, guys, my internet's good, but my scope isn't. Generally what I tend to do is check my Facebook follower, or sorry, my Instagram followers and see that like, you know, I have like 400 people that have watched my stories or whatever, 50 people that have watched my stories. And then I head over to my Facebook and I check my stories because I have like both accounts linked. I go over there and they're like a complete different group of people. Right. So I think as far as inviting and following up, you have to totally like cross-check those two platforms because they're not the same. They're absolutely not the same people, right? Because a lot of people prefer to use Facebook over Instagram. And there's people that prefer to use Instagram over Facebook. So just making sure that you're like cross-checking those two, I think is definitely a huge game changer. And it has been for me, especially within the last few months.
Yeah. And that was like a really good point. We were like discussing story viewers, and I am awful because I don't watch stories on Facebook. I don't watch them ever.
No, I
But
don't
if
either.
you go to your Facebook stories and you swipe up, you'll be surprised at how many new people are watching because they don't watch you on Instagram. Like, I find people either watch stories on Facebook or Instagram. It's not often. I have a handful of people that watch on both platforms, but they're usually an entirely different list of people, which is really cool. What were you gonna say?
I forget, but Danielle's question
Yes.
here. If you go 2-star, open up a second business center and then drop rank, what happens? Nothing. As long
You
as your
keep it.
as long as your second business center is open. That's why as soon as you turn 2-star and you hold it for 6 weeks, the day of the 6 weeks, you open up that second CBC and you place it somewhere in your organization, and then it's there for life.
It
Oh, I know what I was
remains
gonna
there.
say.
And if you put a challenge pack through your second CBC, it counts as SC points for your first CBC,
Yes.
which is really cool.
Yeah.
So you're earning the volume off of placing a challenge pack on your second CBC. You're earning that volume all the way through if you have like spouse accounts or anything. And then you're actually getting SC. So SC's combined for both of those accounts.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, when we're talking about viewers, if you're doing stories on Instagram and on IG, your reels, your viewers in your reels are most likely going to be different as well. I know that when I go to
And your
my
likes.
reels, my likes and my viewers are a completely different audience. When
For
I
sure.
went into my likes, I had like over 100 likes on one of them. None of them I was following.
Yeah.
So just make sure you're cross-referencing that as well.
Any other questions? It's a good question, Danielle.
Yeah. And
Okay.
when we all get to that point of 2-star and opening your second CBC, we can always hop in a conversation and chat about placement, because that's also important.
Yeah.
And fun. I like doing that stuff.
We always place on week leg of spouse count.
Yeah.
For your second CBC. So it's fun. Okay, you guys. Well, thanks for jumping on this call with us tonight. Thanks for setting your goals for 2-star diamond for 2021. But seriously, consider it. Just be open to it and be open to that impact that will have on other people on your team outside of the fear you might have of setting a goal that might feel a little bit too scary for you. I know that's what I experienced. So,
and we're all on this call, meaning you want to grow this business somewhere. So 2-star is naturally where you're going to go.
we appreciate you all. We love you guys. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your evening, and we will chat soon. Bye, guys.
See you guys.